Hello and welcome to our webinar with myself, Charity Mapfeka. I'm an immigration lawyer from the Immigration Advice Service. We're the UK's largest immigration law firm and we specialize in all aspects of immigration law. Please note that the information I provide in this webinar is information only and should not be relied upon as legal advice. Should you wish to seek legal advice, please click the link at the bottom of the screen. So today I'm going to talk to you about the skilled worker route. This route was introduced by the Home Office following the publication of the Statement of Changes to the Immigration Rules on the 22nd of October 2020. This route replaces the Tier 2 route, work visas, which people applied for previously, should they wish to work in the UK. And any application made from 9 a.m. On the 1st of December 2020 for a job which is to start from the 1st of January 2021 will be considered under the new skilled worker visa category. So any applications made before this date and time will be considered under the previous Tier 2 immigration rules. So how does one become sponsored, or how does a company sponsor a skilled worker? In order to sponsor a skilled worker, a UK business is required to apply for a sponsor license. This application is made to the Home Office online and documents are submitted to the Home Office and information is submitted to the Home Office thereafter. In the whole process of applying for a sponsor license, a UK business should identify and appoint a person to look after the sponsor license, carry out the duties required by the Home Office, and this person must not have any criminal convictions unspent and must not have a history of not complying with the sponsorship duties. In addition to that, the Home Office will also look at the company itself, if it has been genuinely trading in the UK, if it's honest, dependable and reliable, if it's capable of carrying out the sponsorship duties and evidencing compliance, and if they can offer genuine employment at the appropriate skills level and appropriate rates of pay. So Immigration Advice Service are here to help you. We have a team of experts who can help you put together this sponsor license application should you have a UK business and you wish to employ skilled workers. So what has changed in the immigration rules? What is this skilled worker? Why is it so different from the Tier 2 general route? The skilled worker route now extends to EEA nationals from the 1st of January 2021. This is in preparation to the ending of free movement. As you know, the UK are coming out of the European Union. As some of you may know, non-EEA nationals from 2008 have always been required to apply for a work visa in order to come to the UK to work. Some of the changes are that the Home Office have now reduced the minimum experienced worker rate of pay. It is now 25,600 and formerly it was 30,000. The minimum salary for a new entrant is £20,480. Previously it was 20,800. And also the Home Office have introduced a minimum salary threshold for a PhD holder for £23,040. We'll look at that as we go on with this webinar. The RQF level, skill level, has reduced from level 6 to level 3, that is equivalent to A-level standard. And under the Tier 2, an employer was required to advertise the job prior to offering it to an individual who is a non-EEA national. However, this has changed. The Home Office have removed that requirement to advertise, so the residence labour market test no longer exists. There is no cap in the duration of stay. If you wish to stay in the UK for longer periods, there is no cap anymore. Under the Tier 2 general, there was a cap of 6 years under the Tier 2 general route. you could not stay in the UK for more than 6 years under this visa. In addition to that, the cooling off period has been removed by the Home Office. Previously, under the Tier 2 General, you're required to leave the UK and stay outside the UK for at least 12 months before you come back to the UK under another work visa. Something that has not changed for both categories, the previous Tier 2 General and the skilled worker, is that both categories lead to indefinite leave to remain after 5 years. So skilled worker also leads to indefinite leave following completion of 5 years of lawful stay in the UK. And another route which has not changed much is the Tier 2 ICT. The Home Office no longer call it the Tier 2, it's just ICT. And ICT now extends to EEA nationals from the 1st of January 2021 and non-EEA nationals as usual. Nothing much has changed in this category, just a little bit of a tweak in the wording. However, most of the rules are the same. The significant change, though, under ICT is the fact that a migrant does not need to leave the UK, stay outside the UK for more than 12 months before they can come back to the UK in another visa category or in the same visa category. So the cooling off period has been removed under the ICT. So for those who are in the UK who may be wondering if they can switch into this skilled worker route, if it benefits them, if, for example, they do not wish to return to their home countries to make an entry clearance application. As you know, there's this situation about COVID-19. Everybody is worried about, visiting certain countries. So if you are in the UK and you do not hold any of the visas I'm going to mention now, you can switch into the skilled worker route. So the visas that are restrictive, which you cannot switch into the skilled worker route with, are a visitor visa, short-term student visa, a parent of a child student, a Tier 5 seasonal worker, a domestic worker in a private household, and someone with leave outside of the immigration rules. For example, exceptional circumstances, or the Home Office looked at the situation, it's a human rights situation, and they granted it outside of the immigration rules. I'll give you an example of a person who can switch into skilled worker very easily is a PBS dependent, for example. PBS dependent can switch into skilled worker. They no longer need to leave the UK and then come back on an entry clearance visa. So they can now switch in the UK as long as they make an in-time application and their visa is valid at the time of submission to the Home Office. ICT, Tier 2 ICT holders can also switch inside the UK. They do not need to leave the UK and then come back again. So this is good news for everyone wishing to switch inside the UK. Moving on to the points. So how many points are you required to score under this points-based system? The skilled worker requires an applicant to score at least 70 points before a visa can be granted. These points have been split into two by the Home Office. So there is a mandatory points. Everybody who makes this application has to meet the mandatory points. You cannot swap the mandatory points with anything. So 20 points for a job offer that is evidenced by a certificate of sponsorship, for example, and that job is at the required skilled level, obviously based on the occupation code, the job title, what you are required in that job to do in that job. The third thing where you can get 10 points is the English language requirement. Everyone coming here to the UK under a work visa is required to meet the English language requirement at least level B1. So what are the additional points? How do you get the additional 20 points? How do you score the additional 20 points? This has been split into options by the Home Office depending on your situation. However, these situations are tailored specifically to the rate of pay you will be getting from the Home Office against a qualification, for example. So we have option A is if the pay you would be getting is 100% of the going rate, depending on your occupational code, or at least £25,600. Option B, for example, somebody who has a PhD, and option C and D, we have STEM PhD. STEM PhD is a PhD in science, technology, engineering, or mathematics, and somebody who has a job from the shortage occupation list, a new entrant, or healthcare and education role. We'll look into these as we go with this webinar. So these are other ways of meeting the requirements and meeting the points required for this skilled worker visa. So the Home Office have made it really, really easy. You don't need to brainstorm anymore. We don't need to take a calculator, and start thinking, do I meet the rate of pay? Is the going rate? Do I qualify under the options? No, not anymore. Everything has been made easy and clear by the Home Office if you make reference to the appendix skilled occupations. So the Home Office have calculated how much you need to be earning if you'd like to take advantage of the points. So for example, programmers and software development professionals, the going rate is 33,300. And if you have a PhD, for example, you'd like to take advantage of option B, and you're paid £29,970, you would meet these 20 points requirement. Or if your job is on a shortage occupation list and your prospective employer will be paying you £26,640, you qualify for 80% of the going rate. So everything has been made quite easy by the Home Office, which I think most of you will be happy about, as you can easily just reference the appendix skilled occupations. So we'll get into a little bit of depth with the PhD and STEM PhD options, because some people may be confused, like, what does that mean? So there's the PhD. PhD, as long as you have a PhD, you can take advantage of option B. Option B means that you'd be paid £23,040 or 90% of the going rate, depending on your occupation code. And STEM PhD, as I mentioned previously, this is a PhD in science, technology, and engineering and mathematics. There's option C. You can be paid £20,480 or 80% of the going rate, whichever is higher. Please bear in mind that it's whichever is higher, depends on the occupation code you wish to fall under. So shortage of occupation list, it's very important that people or applicants refer to the shortage of occupation list prior to assuming that their job may be on the shortage occupation list. So option D, should you wish to earn your 20 points by using the occupation code, shortage occupation list, you have to look at the codes, find your code, and you can be paid £20,480 per annum or 80% of the going rate, whichever is higher. So again, I will stress that whichever is higher, that's what the Home Office will consider. It's not just by the minimum pay you get. So for example, if an architect gets the going rate for an architect is 33,300, and a prospective employer offers you employment at £20,480 per annum, they have to go by the going rate, which is 80% of the going rate. So 80% of £33,380. As long as they can meet that threshold, you will then earn the 20 points. So new entrant, what is a new entrant? A new entrant is an applicant who is under the age of 26. They can meet the new entrant criteria. New entrant is rates of pay are £20,480 per annum or 70% of the going rate. Another introduction by the Home Office, this is new. If you have studied in the UK in the last 2 years, no matter what age you are, doesn't matter how old you are. You could be a 50-year-old and you've been studying in the UK in the last 2 years. The Home Office have now considered this as new entrant, which is very great news for a lot of people who would have not considered themselves as new entrants. Another change that the Home Office have introduced is that you can stay as a new entrant on your course for 4 years. So you can get the level of salary, either £20,480 or 70% of the going rate, depending on your occupation code, for at least 4 years. So that is also good news for a lot of people. Thereafter, in the 5th year, you are expected to meet the threshold, the minimum threshold of 25,600 or 100% of the going rate in order for you to get an extension. Healthcare or education codes, that's option F. Healthcare and education codes, the rate of pay, again, the minimum is £20,480 per annum, or the going rate, whichever is higher. So again, in this healthcare and education code, you must make sure that you check the codes because they are quite specific in some areas. For example, a secondary education teaching professionals, these can only be teachers in maths, physics, science, where an element of physics will be taught, or computer science and Mandarin. So some of them, the codes are very specific. So before you assume that you are a secondary school teacher, for example, please check and make sure that you fall under these categories in order for you to get the 20 points. English language requirement. English language requirement can be met in 4 ways. Either as a national of the majority speaking country, passing an approved English language test provided by UKVI at level B1, having a UK awarded degree and a master's degree in the UK or a PhD issued by an educational establishment in the UK, or having an academic qualification from overseas which was taught in English but recognized by UK NARIC as being equivalent to a UK bachelor's or master's degree or a PhD. Financial requirement. An applicant is required by the Home Office to show that they have held the amount of £1,270 in their bank account or equivalent in their bank account for at least 28 days prior to submission of the application. So before making the application, please ensure that you have held the funds required for 28 days, for at least 28 days. And pay particular attention to the fact that it can't be 27 days. It has to be at least 28 days or more if you've held the money, for longer than 28 days. Happy days. So make sure that this amount has been held in the account for at least 28 days prior to making the application. Should you wish to bring a partner, for example, to the UK, you need to add at least £285 held in the same account or a different account for at least 28 days prior to making the application. For a dependent child, you have to add £315, hold it into a bank account for at least 28 days prior to making the application. For any additional children, that's £200 extra, and so forth. So for those who are in the UK, this is great news because the Home Office no longer require you to. So for those in the United Kingdom, the Home Office no longer require you to demonstrate that you meet the financial requirement or the maintenance as it was previously. As long as you can demonstrate that you've been living in the UK for at least 12 months leading up to the submission of the application, the Home Office will consider you as exempt from the financial requirement. The Home Office have also introduced the healthcare visa. The healthcare visa, as a lot of you know, that the NHS has been. Okay. So the Home Office have introduced the healthcare visa. This visa was introduced to everyone from 4th of October. So the Home Office have introduced the healthcare visa. This was introduced by the Home Office from the 4th of August 2020. As a lot of you know, that the NHS has been struggling with, trying to find staff to tackle the effects of COVID-19, and they are promoting, the employment of health and care professionals to join the NHS to help tackle the effects of COVID-19. So the Home Office have introduced these health and care visas as long as you have a job offer from a specified list of sponsors or be engaged to provide a specific provision of services, and you have a valid Tier 2 or skilled worker certificate of sponsorship, you meet the English language requirement, and you meet the maintenance requirement, and you provide a criminal records certificate should you be applying for a visa from outside the UK. So this is another visa that people can take advantage of and apply for. Thank you very much for joining me during this webinar. I hope you find the information useful. Just to let you know that we have a training day here at IAS. We're offering a training day on 7th of December 2020. And should you wish to have a more comprehensive training session in the immigration rules that have just been introduced, please click the link at the bottom of the screen and you will be able to meet our top trainers who will be able to give you more insight into the immigration rules. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.